Good evening, everybody. My name is Gary. We're going to be playing a little bit of guitar this evening. Sheet music's at denverguitarorchestra.com. And we meet here many Thursday nights, not all of them, but some of them, just to get together and play some music. And that's mostly for people who can't hang out with us during the daytime. We meet every day during the weekdays to play guitar. But of course, some people have lives and jobs, and it's not convenient. So we do a Thursday night class. And tonight, Old Lang Syne, Christmas is. Uh, First Noel, Green Sleeves, Silent Night. We wish you a Merry Christmas. All good stuff. Been playing it during the day, and we will follow up with that tonight and give everybody a chance to make sure they have whatever they want for the holidays as well. Denver Guitar Orchestra, denverguitarorchestra.com. There's that. I'll tweet that. My Twitter feed, if anybody ever looks at it, will think that I'm serious about making music. All right, looking a little raggedy. Let's take this off, see if I can't look a bit more presentable. Let's see, usually kind of a small turnout on Thursday nights, and we will no doubt find that again tonight. We'll get people in from different places around the world, but mostly from here in Denver. And we'll wait just a minute or two to let everybody get settled in and get tuned up. Somebody will come in and say, the sound is good. And that's Vic, just right on time. Hey, Vic. Let's see. My intention, unless you guys tell me otherwise, is just to play the same list as we've been playing during the day. And give one more chance to run through it all. Ukulele. I thought I had another guitar up here. Up on the housetop guitar. Up on the housetop. Move to guitar. Did some guitar work with the city of Lakewood earlier this week on Thursday night? Tuesday night. Wednesday night. Yes, last night. And so I have a few pieces from there. Guys, if you feel like you would like, hey, Evelyn, hey, Elizabeth, welcome in, you guys. If you feel like you want to play something different as well, just let me know from the sheet music page on the website. Just scroll down to the bottom and you can see the other ones. We can certainly play through some of those and talk about those tonight if you'd like. Next Thursday, honestly, is going to be our last meeting for the season. Can you imagine? Because if I'm reading the calendar correctly, and often I am not, but let me pull it up and just tell you what I see. If I pull up the calendar, tonight is the 3rd. Next week is the 10th, which I do have open. The 17th, I have a conflict, so I won't be able to do the 17th. And the next two are New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, so we won't meet on those dates. So next week will be our final nighttime guitar of the year. Can you believe that? It's already happening that quickly. That's why today I looked at the calendar and I'm like, oh, and then today somebody was asking me about, can you do this song? And I'm like, no. I'm in a panic all of a sudden that Christmas is going to rush up on us much quicker than I thought. And so anyway, put in your last minute request type things for guitar. Obviously, check the website over there. I did get an email from Elizabeth saying she needed a couple of those PDFs from the sheet music page, which I'm happy to do. I'll get to that hopefully tonight, Elizabeth. And then obviously, oh, hey, Bill, welcome in. So obviously we want to just make sure you got enough to keep you busy through the holiday. And well, Schubert probably is a year-long piece, truthfully, Elizabeth. I have been really struggling with making it a solo piece. It's really a duet, but I really also want to make it a solo piece, and I have been struggling with trying to figure out the melody is pretty basic, but the arpeggios underneath it are what really make it, and it's hard to get those two things together, or at least where I can play them. And if I can't play them, I don't ever put them out. I don't feel like it's my right to say, here, you guys play this, if I can't at least make a halfway effort at doing it myself. So that's where I'm at on that, and I do think I'll be able to get it finished, but it's definitely a piece that you'll be able to spend a long time with. You'll take the duet version. Okay. Yeah, you and I, when we get together, that's what we will do. We will play Schubert Ave Maria. I want the melody part. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to just play down the list tonight, which will have the happy consequence of us ending up on We Wish You a Merry Christmas. So if you'll grab Auld Lang Syne first, let's run through that. And guys, I know those of you guys who should come during the daytime class, you already have been through all of this a lot. And so we will make, so you might have to sit through a little bit of instruction. And then those of you who have not been coming to the daytime class, we probably won't give you near as much as instruction as you want, but I also know you guys are all pretty good guitar players. So you'll probably be happy with me talking less and playing more. So first off, with Auld Lang Syne, I don't know how much more I can loosen up this string. It's so funny. I started humidifying this back room back here. And ever since then, all these instruments have been like, nope, I am not going to be in tune. There it is. Auld Lang Syne, I want to play the melody first, and all of you guys that log in here are experts at playing melody at this point, so probably no discussion necessary. Just remember, you've got some fours, and those you really do need to talk yourself into playing fours with your pinky. And then if you are playing finger style like I normally do, either playing with your thumb individual notes or playing with your claw individual notes is the way to go. And of course, 3 levels of clawing, right? There's the just plucking it. And then, of course, there is playing with just your index and middle. That's very classical. That's what classical guitar players do. And fingerstyle players, we kind of, not always, but we kind of plant these 3 fingers on these lower 3 strings so that they just are there. You know what they are, which tends to make you overuse your ring finger a little bit. And that's not a terrible situation, but it's not necessarily ideal either. And so let's see how it goes. From the top, Auld Lang Syne, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 3. Hold on, my foot pedal did not connect. What the heck is going on? Let me get. We cannot play if my little gadget here doesn't work properly. So hold that thought. You're holding on page 2. Think of it as the world's longest fermata. Okay, there we go. Page 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. 2, 3. Three. Two, three. Two, three. Stop. That's a good melody. Okay, so then let's run through the chords. Make sure there's only 3 chords: A chord, D chord, E7 chord. Those are your level 1 chords, so it should be pretty comfy for everybody. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of an arpeggio pattern on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I'm going to start at measure 5. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and ill lang syne? Should old acquaintance line, my dear, for old lang syne? We'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. When you miss the last note and you're like, bong, slide it up, bong, like you meant to do it, right? Doesn't that sound pretty, even with my singing? Just that business of putting in a kind of a quicker paced arpeggio underneath a kind of a slower song. And even, if I could sing, it would be really nice. But I think that's, again, one of those sneaky things that they probably teach it in folk music school a little bit. You just don't see a ton of people doing it and until they're professionals. And so I think, especially as regular old guitar players just enjoying our lives, that's a really fine way to play and being thoughtful of, hey, if I'm in that E, A, and D, I'm in tall cotton, because when I'm E, my root note is on my thumb on the 6th string. When I'm in A, the root note's on your thumb and on the 5th string. And when I'm in D, root note's on the 4th string, right there. So you always have access to that root note. That's why I love arranging in the key of A, is D's and E's are coming along for the ride, and you can really end up with pretty nice use of these open strings here, just to help create a greater depth to your music. So I like that. All right, finally, let's run through the tough acts a couple of times. Grab your A chord and let's see how you do. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, guys, I messed up. Really pretty tune. Let's go through. One time I forgot to switch over to my claw the second time through. I realized about measure 17. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm playing it the wrong way. Let's play from the top one time through, just top to bottom. Try your claw. See what happens. See what happens. We'll slow it down just a little bit. Again, when you're in your claw, it's going to be a little harder to produce really deep, beautiful tones, but you're going to get crisper, cleaner tones. And so there's a trade-off to be made there. So one time through, try your claw, unless you're already doing your claw, and then of course do whatever you want. But I forgot to switch to claw a second time through. One time through, top to bottom, I'm going to use my claw this time. 1, 2, 3. Second ending. Very different texture, very different feel to it, but still equally awesome in its own way. Those of you guys who own classical guitars, that's the way you want to be working as often as possible. Yeah, it's always going to sound great to toss in your thumb going down, but make sure that you are regularly exercising your claw, at least, probably a third of your time, maybe working on playing with this, maybe even more than that, so that you can just get really comfortable with how your hands and fingers and so on are moving around. I find when I'm using that particular system, and I've got choices that I get to make myself, my hand tends to move around on the strings north and south quite a bit, and not necessarily for a positive result. So yeah, I think it's a fun way to play. Next is Christmas Is. Let's do a modern tune. Christmas Is. we worked on this. I think last time we got together on Thursday night. If we didn't, welcome. Christmas is, the morning crew has been spending quite a bit of time on this one, so we're feeling pretty strong about it. I feel like it's got a very minimalist kind of pretty minimalist melody to it, and then the chords are quite lovely overall. You put them together and you have a really nice piece of music here. Not fast, designed just to be, easy going type of music. Tiny bit repetitive, I think, but by the time you get done, you're like, oh, I kind of like that song. All right, let's see how we do. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a pretty rough start. Go. Keep going. How about that? There's my wife's mother's favorite Christmas song. How about that? Who'd have thunk? Sounds really beautiful, you guys. Hope you are enjoying playing that one. That I not a common one, a little bit unique, and sounds pretty decent on guitar. Not doesn't make you too sad to play it. I mean, my intro is a little sad. Other than that, I think a nice little melody there. Really beautiful song, right? Vic and I know beauty, and so that's we're on the same page with that. All right, let's go into next up is First Noelle. Not trying to short any of these songs tonight, but I do want to play through everything. The morning crew, they have their Friday morning concert in the morning. So this is another opportunity just to go through everything and make sure you know where your trouble spots are. And I think with Christmas music, while it tends to be a little bit friendlier, generally speaking, there's never ever going to be a time when you just play everything perfectly, probably, unless you're getting ready for a performance somewhere. And so I do think just going over this stuff and over this stuff, making yourself as comfy as you can, and then accepting the fact of it is what it is when it is, right? So whatever you're playing tonight, that's awesome. First Noel, from the top, it's a 2 beat count in. We go all the way down to measure 24, come all the way back, play it all the way down to 24 again. And then the last time through, after you've played through the whole thing twice, go to measure 17. That's that DSL Fine business that's on there. You'll see above measure 24, DSL Fine. That means go to the Segno, which is sitting at 17, and then play to the Fine, which in this case is the end. Well, that's what it is in all cases when they put that. Sometimes they'll say DSL coda, and then you play to a coda and jump to another coda. We've had those as well. But this one's DSL Fine. From the top, 1, 2. Seventeen. What did Gary do? Gary played into the first repeat because Gary doesn't have his yellow highlighter on there. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. Put a piece of yellow highlighter at the beginning of measure 24, and then you don't end up playing into there on your last time through. Oh well, and it wouldn't be playing music if I didn't mess up the endings. That's my thing. That's what I do. All right. Next up, let's go grab Green Sleeves. Man, we've been having a lot of fun playing this Green Sleeves. Really jumping around on this song. Was that the previous song, the Christmas Is? Is that what the song you were jumping around on, Vic, or was it First Noel? I think First Noel gets pretty repetitive a little bit, so you might jump around a little bit in the beginning, but after a while you're like, oh, okay. Every single time we do that, I go to there, and so First Noel. I find the first time through it's a little iffy, but then after that, I'm like, oh, okay, it's just a lot more of the same. Christmas Is, on the other hand, man, oh man, there is just enough weirdness in the chord shapes where I do miss them quite a bit. And yeah, First Noel, I really had to watch maybe. Oh, First Noel was the one that's causing you a little bit of trouble. I think the one thing that I notice when I'm playing that, the E chords do jump in out of the blue, and you're like, what the heck is that? But I do find that it really wants to hang around the D chord, and it really wants to hang around this A chord. And if you're like, okay, I'm not positive, but if I can get this shape on effectively, then my pinky does a little bit of the work after that, and that D chord shows up pretty regularly. I think if you can get those in, right, your D chords and your A chords, then when you get then you can focus in on, oh, here comes one of those E chords. Sometimes it's the full E chord, but then not uncommonly E chord with your pinky there. And again, just go with your standard issue shape and put that 3 up there. Should help a little bit. All of the shapes that are in First Noel are shapes we've seen in lots of the other tunes. However, that doesn't necessarily mean on any given night that you're not going to fight them a little bit. And I do find the one thing that's comforting about First Noel is you're going to be playing a whole bunch of the same thing over and over. Green Sleeves as well. You basically play the first part, and then you play the first part again, and then you play the second part, and you play the second part again. And then you go back and do it again, right? So I would say with Green Sleeves, hopefully, once you get settled in, you're like, okay, I'll just ride this guy out. The fascinating things about Green Sleeves are the 7, 8, 9 that shows up in measure 2. And I would take a minute just to get comfy with that. 7, 8, 9. And that's beautiful. Every guitar is going to make that. That's awesome. Okay, and then just remember after that the 8, 7, so you just drop your middle finger. That's a kind of a weird moment. You do have a C chord in measure 5 with the pinky on the top. That's never, for me, I notice a lot of my students have no problem with that, and every time I see it, I'm like, oh, well, that's death for me. I'm for sure going to mess that one up. And then the B7, of course, is kind of a bummer because you're going to be putting your pinky up here on 4 while you're playing that B7. So that's something I'd work on, is just getting that stretched down. B7 top with the pinky on 4. I'd probably spend a little bit of time on that to make sure you could do it. This, like almost every song, has a D chord with your pinky up on 5. So again, it's not exactly easy, but it is something that you want to eventually be able to get to do. Even me, I've been doing a long time. I'm pretty flexible with my pinky, and I have a little bit shorter guitar. But look how far back this guy is in the fret. I'm reaching like heck. So if that's not going to happen for you, so go ahead and switch out your middle finger and your ring finger so that you have index, middle, and then pinky. And then you're a little bit better set up. The problem with this program is so often the minute you do this, your very next chord is a D chord, and so you have to reassemble all of your fingers. But it's not really a cheat. It's a way to play it, and so just be thinking that one through. And then finally on this piece, the other hard moment is measure 17, where you're going to have to look down it in order to get this one right. Index on 3rd string, 7th, middle on 8th fret of the 2nd string, and pinky on 10 of the 1st string, and then play all 4 strings. And just let them ring just a little bit longer than you're supposed to. That's really, really something that's really outstanding songwriting. Whoever wrote this in the beginning knew what they were doing. And then Remember, measure 20. You do have a full B7, which you could put on, but I've just arranged it as 3/4/4. So you take a A minor shape up onto the 3rd fret here, and I do that a lot. I find that I get just as much. I find that just pretty. So I do that in arrangements a lot. I just think it works, and so I don't think you have to kill yourself over these B minors necessarily. I think that's the main stuff to talk about in here. Let's play it as written, top to bottom, and then top to bottom again. So 6 pages of music, right? That's a lot, and not fast again. Just let the sounds develop as fully as you can, and see what you do. 2-beat count in. Here we go. 1, 2. Top. Let it go, right? And then finally shut your guitar up. And you get anytime you get a chance to hit on E minor, you're like, let's do that. That sounds great. Beautiful. So there's Green Sleeves. and one of the bots came through, mindful relaxation bot, and said, hey, we're soothing. Okay, that's ridiculous. I don't know why those guys do that, but anyway, there they go. That's a beautiful piece. Obviously, a goal obviously would be to play faster, a little bit more aggressively. Let your tonality of your guitar. I have a tendency to play everything at mezzo, but every now and then when you feel something kind of when you feel a song, the action rising, and then play a little louder, a little bit more aggressively. Let your guitar get loud, and then kind of drop back down. And that's a growth area for me, is to get more dynamics into my guitar. And I do think it does when you can. It's like, oh goodness, this thing makes a lot of noise. That's lovely, especially in your bedroom, right? Right now, hanging out behind your laptop, you're like, yep, I can make a lot of noise, right? And it seems like a lot of noise. It's not really. Guitars are pretty quiet overall, not electric guitars. All right, Silent Night. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing excellent. Let's go play Silent Night. I'm going to be able to get everybody in. That's very exciting. Guitar. S. Silent Night. All right, this is one of my all-time favorite songs. Who cares what it's about? It's about playing every single note perfect and beautiful on this one, taking your time, and it works on guitar like unbelievable. This is one where, these big, long strums that I put in on the Tough Axe line may or may not be necessary, but it depends on your guitar a little bit. When you play a G chord, these lower three strings, they just ring on forever, and sometimes that's a bit too much. And so if it is, either don't hit them when you're doing your strum, just go from 4 down or something like that, and let these guys just continue to die out. Or the other thing that's easy to talk about, hard to do, don't hit them quite so hard as the other strings. I'm not very good at that, but it is something to be mindful of. And then, of course, if you're playing claw style, getting your thumb onto the low note is usually going to sound pretty nice, because you're usually hitting a root note and then using the other 3 fingers to hit your higher note. So like at measure 1, where you have this big G chord, right? If you want to play finger style, you would grab your claw, thumb on that top thing, and you're still going to do the same thing. And then this string isn't being used at all, which in a lot of times that's helpful, because this string's just ringing out, just kind of clogging up the sound overall. And I don't necessarily feel like when I'm playing on an acoustic guitar, I run into major problems with that, and just a little bit too much heaviness in the bass side. But when you get on an electric guitar, oh my God, you really do have to be somewhat thoughtful about that, because you hit this on an electric guitar, it will feel like it's ringing out for a week and a half, and then your choice is to try to stop it without making it make that sound clonk. And so beginning to just be a little bit sensitive to how you approach attacking your strings is not time that's poorly spent. It's really pay attention to the sound coming out of your guitar, and especially on a song like this, where really there's a real premium placed on beauty and the sensitivity of what you're up to. And so just be really listening and seeing how that's working out for you. I'm going to play this song the first time through with my thumb on Tough Axe. Then I'm going to go back through and play it with my claw on Tough Axe. And then actually, let's do it this way. I'm going to play the melody the first time. I am going to play claw the second time, and I'm going to play thumb the third time. Okay, so that way I played all of the major ways except for chords and singing. For those of you guys that are singers, remember you're in 6/8 time. So that's with thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. There's your 6. I tried it earlier today. I'm a terrible singer, but let me just give you a little sense of how that goes. Silent night. Holy night. And then you switch to that D chord. All is calm. Back to G chord. All is bright. You see how pretty that is? So that even with my terrible singing, I all of a sudden I sound like, oh gosh, I could listen to the rest of that song, right? But what I'm doing here is I'm putting my thumb on my root note, which is for G chord, it's on the top string. For C chord, it's going to be on your fifth string. And for D chord, it's going to be on your fourth string. That's where your roots are. That's where your thumb would go. And then the other three fingers, just to do the pattern. Thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, 1 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you try to play your arpeggio at whatever speed you want to sing. And so for me, I'm going to sing slow, right? Because I'm going to pretend that I'm getting my notes right. Silent. And then your night. Holy night. And then that becomes very, very peaceful and very engaging way to play some of these songs. So think about that. Even if you're a terrible singer, you got to sing a little bit. First time through, I'm going to play melody. Second time through, tough acts with a claw. Third time through, tough acts with my thumb. Let's see how we do. You do whatever makes you you. 1, 2. Oh, I'm going to count in 2, and then we'll go. 1, 2. Yep. answer with your right hand. Accept your thunderous applause. People are loving you for playing that song in so many different ways. Most people don't care how you play, as long as it's pretty and it sounds like the song that they thought. That's what they want, and they want the beginning to go well, they want the end to go well, and the rest of the time they're checking their cell phone. So there we are. Henry wants to come in. We never know what's about to happen when this happens, but Henry is in. Henry is not a fan of fretted instruments, so he may or may not decide to hang out, but my allergies have gone wild today, and I don't know why. It's the middle of winter, shouldn't be anything blooming. Here we are. All right, so that's enough for Henry. He already left. All right, finally, let's put our this week's final effort into We Wish You Merry Christmas. And guys, let's again review for those of you who got in here a tiny bit late. This Christmas season is zipping by at a crazy rate, and why is this not here? We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Where is it? Downloads, guitar, everything should be here. We've been playing it for weeks. Oh, remember me? Remember that? We Wish You a Merry Christmas, guitar. Next week will be the last week of Thursday nights for 2020. Okay, so we will play through whatever happens to be on the front page, plus anything else that you're interested in. Go look at the sheet music page on the website. Go through those. If you see any things that are particularly enticing to you, go look at those, and then send me an email, and I'll put them up on the list of things to do. And let's see. So that'll be that. Then that'll be that for 2021. The following Thursday, I have a condo board meeting, so I can't meet then. The next weekend's Christmas Eve. You're going to be playing Silent Night that night, and then the following week is New Year's Eve, and you will be playing Auld Lang Syne. This is a weird year because you're not going to dress up like some scandalous little thing and go out dancing at the club on New Year's Eve, because they're not going to let you do that. So might as well be a great year to actually play Auld Lang Syne, and so let's do that. Let's see what else. Could it not possibly be a better comment? I am loving me. I can't believe I'm playing these songs, even if it's not gold. It does. Who cares if it's gold? Oh my gosh. Who cares if it's gold? Let's play what you're playing. The fact that you're playing these at happy, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Gold, yeah, I wish I could play gold too, right? I read an article one time on Pat Metheny, maybe one of the top 10 jazz guitarists of all time. Says, sometimes I wish I hadn't left my basement. So even he doesn't play gold, right? We always have these different aspects. And so Christy Lyons is in tonight. Oh my gosh. We have been, Christy and I have spent typically in normal times, Christy and I will spend 3-4 nights a week together playing music, and the pandemic, of course, has shut everything down. Christy still has a job, which is seriously makes her way less interesting than me, because I have nothing better to do than play guitar. But she's got to go earn a living. So I haven't seen her in a long time, and so I see her name there, and I'm just delighted. I'm so excited to see you, Christy. It feels like old times, like we're hanging out. I hate that fact that I don't get to see you all the time. Let's talk about next January. I know during the daytime, I'm going to go back to level 1, 2, and 3. And so I just feel like I need to I'm hoping to just continue to get people started. Once in a while, we'll get somebody wandering in off the streets who needs to get started. And so level 1, 2, and 3 during the daytime. But I'm fairly open at night about how you guys want to handle this. we are going to be on lockdown until at least April. I think we're going to head into a very dismal winter here, and there's just no way I'm doing anything outside of the building. So I would love to hear what you guys think, either here in chat or on email. If there's a particular song that you guys would like to work on Thursday nights, if there are a handful of songs, if there's techniques you'd like to work on, if there are um, particular genres. Maybe we do all Irish music, or we do all only Lady Gaga, or we do whatever. I want to play all Beatles tunes. I mean, I'm actually open to whatever you guys feel like you want to do. This is me putting it together, but it's really got to be about stuff that makes sense to you guys. I do love this Thursday night session. It just feels very calm and peaceful to step in after a long day of teaching and just sit down and play a little bit, and not, maybe do a little less teaching, because level 4, it's like the 1 o'clock hour on ukulele right now. I don't really have to teach anything. Those guys are all pretty good at this point, and so and the ones who are still struggling should be struggling, right? But they're struggling right along with everybody. So a little less instruction. I would say, if you have a suggestion, please, please, please let me have it, and we'll get started on it. I have been really wanting to do a couple of Beatles tunes, and so I'm kind of thinking about Yesterday or Blackbird. Christy's done a nice arrangement of Yesterday. I'll probably pick up on basically what she did and copy paste. I don't know. I also love the songs in our book 4 that are already there. La Vie en Rose, Moon River. I think we already did Moon River. There's several Irish pieces in there that I'd love to work on. So I'm pretty open. If you guys will absolutely let me know what you think. If you want to focus in on doing a little bit of classical, if we want to do some Beethoven or Bach or Carulli or Sohr or Carcassi, those kinds of things, it's got to be pretty melodic, and it's got to have a little bit of snap to it. Some of those old guys, it's very etude and a lot of just practicing with your fingers. That's not necessarily fun to play on a Thursday night, but definitely take this moment to think about what it is you want to get out of guitar and how I could help you get there. As you guys know, at level 4, this is sort of my level, right? I'm not killing it by any means. Level 4 is pretty challenging for me as well, and so I would love. My version of Yesterday may not be ready for prime time. It may be ready for me to work to get it into prime time, though, Christy. It was pretty darn close. It was really a nice arrangement, and we may have to noodle it just a little bit. But I think that I actually might call you up and be like, Christy, I'm stealing your arrangement. I'll give you credit, but I'm fixing a few things. Blackbird is another one that's a really well-known piece of music and really quite delightful on this. So those are my initial thoughts. I'm not married to any of them. And so, again, look into your heart and say, hey, what is it that you need? I got an email. This is probably telling you too much information, but the Guitar Foundation of America, that's the classical guitar group, which I have a mixed relationship with. I am a member, and I pretty religiously read our little manual that comes once every quarter. It's either every 2 weeks or every 2 months or every quarter. We get a little book. What's going on in the world of classical guitar? And in my mind, it could not possibly be more arcane and obscure and sort of like, you guys are doing everything possible to make classical guitar not fun. That's my attitude about that. However, they think they're trying to make it fun, and so I like their motivation. And anyway, next summer they were going to have their convention in California. Well, it's been canceled in California, but they're going to be able to have it here in Denver. So we do have an opportunity to get up close and personal with some classical guitarists here in Denver, and to sort of learn from them and get stuff out of them. So if there is a classical piece that you think would be fun to work on in honor of that, we could do that for sure. Whether you're in Denver or not doesn't matter. And so I'd like for you to think about that. The other thing, along along with that is Alex Commodore, who runs Metro State, who will be in charge of that, sent me an email and says, hey, I already sent him an email saying I would volunteer to help him with that. And he says, well, thank you, Beth. Thank you for that. Very nice. I'll put you on the list. By the way, what do you need? What can I be doing to help you with guitar? And it's a hard thought. It's like, I don't know what. So I'm doing a little soul searching myself about what I can do for myself to become a different guitar player. And so, so looks like yesterday and Blackbird are getting big kudos. I do have a full book of classically arranged Beatles tunes that I found on a shelf, I don't know, 20 years ago. And so I've been carrying it around. I thought, well, maybe I ought to look in that and see what's in there. So I'll look at that and see. Maybe we'll have a Beatles spring. How about that? And we'll do it as classically as possible. So it sounds like we got not consensus, but at least some enthusiasm to go in that direction. So, Christy, just beware. I may be pillaging you yesterday to make sure it fits my criterion, which it does. I already played through it, and cleaning it up just a little bit and getting it out to you guys. So that's what I'll be thinking about for the spring. Then is maybe focusing a little bit on a few Beatles tunes. All right, we wish you a Merry Christmas. This will be our swan song tonight. Remember, you play down through measure 9, go back to measure 1, and then play down all the way to the end at 26. Elizabeth came up with a very smart idea at measure 24. Before the last note of measure 24, if you'll put a little A7 right above that too, and then finish up with your D chord, it gets this nice lift into the D chord. So very smart addition there that will end up in future versions of this. So let's do that. Guys, it's delightful having all of you here. Remember, next Thursday will be it. And I haven't been getting emails out because I've just been having a heck of a time this week getting caught up from the mess that we have down in the condo association, but that's kind of clearing up. So I'm hoping to get you a final email out for the year, and hopefully you're having fun. Christy, absolutely, positively overjoyed at seeing your name on the list. And of course, the rest of you guys I get to see once in a while, so I'm overjoyed at seeing you guys as well. Not quite as overjoyed, right? Like, of course Vic is here. Of course Elizabeth's here. Of course Evelyn is here. Bill, you should come more often, and you should quit your job too. I don't think Bill's quitting his job. I think Bill's got a good job. All right, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Run the top, 2-beat count in. Here we go. 1, 2. Let me hit the first note correct. That's usually pretty helpful. 1, 2. There we go. Guys, I'll see you next week. Be communicative with me on email. I will effort in the direction of, I want to finish up. Elizabeth says she's withdrawn her application, but I'm not listening to her. I will probably get Ave Maria put together this week, and then I will effort in the direction of Beatles for the spring. So hope you guys are having a great day. Please be careful out there. It is pure insanity what's going on in our world, especially if you're here in the United States. Just stay home. And remember, random acts of kindness, right? Just do something weird for somebody every now and again. It really makes you feel good. Practice every day. Try. I know you guys are at a high level. Probably shouldn't need to remind you that that's going to be a valuable tool for you. Keep showing up to these things. I do think getting together with other people in whatever manner that means is going to help keep you motivated to keep playing. Subscribe and like, they say you're supposed to do that. I don't know why I say that. So, and then obviously email me with other stuff I can do to help you feel like you're making progress. And good to see all of you, Bill, Evelyn, Vic, Evelyn. Did I say Evelyn twice? I did. Bill is here. Good night, Bill. Christy, just absolutely delightful to see your name on the list. Couldn't possibly be happier. Elizabeth, good to see you. Who else said hi tonight? I think that might be everybody. So probably I have a few of you hiding up over here in the web widget, and I'm glad you guys are here too. Don't need to log in. Don't need to pay anything. Don't need to just show up, right? And it's hopefully you're getting better every day. And like Vic said, I'm happy with me. Be happy with that person. That person is pretty important to me. And all right, guys. Well, we got Natalia logging in, so obviously the bots have found us tonight, and we'll get rid of those. I'm going to pull the plug. You have a wonderful night, and I will see all of you down the road. I got to make Natalia vanish. Hide user on this. Okay, there she goes, and I'll see you guys later.